I said a whole lot of hurtful stuff. So I think all the hurt and anger was just building in until I exploded. And the explosions, they came. They came like fire. They came every weekend. If I'm drinking, it comes back. When we broke up, the child said to me, please never go back to my dad.
What?
Yeah, we drove each other mad. It got to a point where it wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy at all.
Hello, Heart. I'm Miranda, and welcome to Parenting a Stepchild, a show where we tackle the roller coasters or the joys of parenting someone else's child. Joined in studio, a gorgeous, lovely lady by the name of Matshepo Pitso. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
You're so gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for coming
my best.
with your gorgeousness.
No, I try my best. Thank you so much, though.
We appreciate your best. Now, let's get into this whole parenting a stepchild, right? Mm-hmm. Before we get into it, tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Matshepo?
Yeah. Well, Matshepo is a lady that grew up in the Vaal. Mm-hmm. Then I moved to Pretoria, got a career there. But a very nice person. I'm a very nice person. I get along with so many people. I'm outgoing, actually.
Yeah.
I'm just a bit shy now.
It's okay.
I'll get used to it. Yeah.
I can agree. You're very outgoing because I know when we spoke, it felt like we've been speaking forever, right? So I can testify with your personality and so forth. And how does parenting a stepchild come into play? Give us a glimpse of what happened in the relationship. How did you even become a stepmom?
Yeah.
Drama.
No, there's no drama there. I'm so sorry, there's no drama.
Yeah.
I met my ex-husband a couple of years back, I think in 2017. And then the time I met my husband, I also met the child. And she was 6. Around about that time, she was 6. So 6. So adorable, cute, no teeth, you know? And I just saw this lovely girl and I said, you know what, I like her. But also, I also liked how the father was towards her at the time. And I think she was wearing a tight, was it a tight? Yeah, leggings. And they were torn. We were at a work function. So I went like, you know what, let me rush to Pick n Pay and buy something so that this child can have like a proper leggings. And then I asked the dad, why is she wearing a torn legging? It's like, no, she likes it, she wants it. But I'm like, no, you guys are outside, you are with other people, so you can't have that. So I quickly went, me being nice, I went running. I went to Pick n Pay, I got her leggings, fitted her, and she was so happy. She was now jumping for joy, jumping on me. And I was like, you know what, I think I can fit here. I see myself in this small family picture.
At that time, were you guys in a relationship or it's something you were hoping or aspiring that this is my man, this is my person?
No, we were not. He was somebody that I saw, but it wasn't that deep. No, we were not.
So eventually he asks you out, can you be my lady, right? And you agree. And then what happens? Do you guys get into marriage or it's a case of, you know what, we moving in together, we're going to be a family?
No, there was no marriage at first. I moved in. Reason why I moved in was because of the little girl. He had her most of the time. So he also had like a lot of guy friends that used to be around the girl. So I went like, you know what, maybe it's a good thing if I could move in so that I can help them better. I had a discussion with him saying, you know what, I think the girl needs a mother. Not that she doesn't have a mother, she does. At that time, the mother was busy with school and any other thing. And then I saw an opportunity to just be around and cook for them. Because also I didn't like the fact that they were eating a lot of takeaways and you know a girl child needs somebody next to her. But I think also the fact that there were a lot of men around her, that made me uncomfortable. because obviously he's a guy, he has guy friends. Not that they don't love her, they all love her. But you don't know what other people think.
I think it's so beautiful that you saw a girl who had torn leggings and your heart immediately felt like, no, I need to do something about it, right? And then also, secondly, her being surrounded by a lot of males, because we live in South Africa.
We do.
We know what happens. Even to the people we think they would never, ever do something of such. And how did she love you? Did she come to accept you? How did she see you as the new stepmom in her life?
I think it was up and down. It was going. Other times you'd see that love, and then other times you'd see that attitude. But then again, she was a child. And also, she was 6. When you're 6, you are easily influenced. Yeah. So I think somewhere, somehow I saw the love, and somewhere, somehow I saw the attitude, but it wasn't that much. It was in a way that I can manage that attitude.
So compared to what you expected versus what you were getting, was it 2 different realities that you could say?
At first it was.
Yeah.
At first it was. Why am I saying so? Most of the time I was with her, and then she was a bubbly girl and also a very sad girl. Why am I saying so? She'd wake up at times and not greet. And then when you ask her what's going on, she would just, walk past. But I got to understand that maybe also she was not dealing with her feelings. Remember also, she's a child. The mother is living where, the father is living where. Now there's this other woman that's trying to take the mother's place. So I guess somewhere, somehow, it would have a negative impact and a positive impact, because we spend like 2 days together, we are happy. Maybe she would visit the mother or somewhere else. She comes back, she's not the same. We have to start again and start the process again.
How was your patience like? Because this is not your bloodline, right? This is not
I had
your
to
biological
have patience.
daughter.
There came a time where I think she was 8 at that time. She was going to school, so she got to the door. She knocked, I opened, and she's like, "Oh, it's you."
Whoa.
And I'm like, in my head, "You are 8, girl. I will slap the hell out of you." Obviously, I was never going to do it, but, and I was thinking, no, man, this cannot happen. She's just 8. She cannot talk to me like this. But I'll have a talk with her when she comes back from school. And at times, a child being a child, I don't think it's about being a stepchild or anything. A child being a child can, do things that you don't like as a parent. And she would deliberately do things, but I wasn't thinking because of me being a stepmother. I was just thinking, you know what, she just wanted to piss me off or piss the dad off. And now you are having this child that's having attitude, and you're trying to talk to the parent, and the parent is just like, you know what, give her time. And I'm like, no, you're not understanding. There's just something that's not okay. It's like, no, you're just being mean, or you just want trouble. Give her time, she'll be fine. I remember even at one point, he said to me, I was like, no, she cannot wake up and then not greet. That is not allowed. And then he says, no, if she doesn't want, she doesn't want. And I'm like, no, but we don't live like that,
In what society? What world?
So I guess that's where I saw that my patience is higher than, it's enormous.
What would you think the influence was? Is it her biological mother? Did she have any sort of negative influence on her daughter? Or because you did mention, she's just going through feelings. She's trying to adjust to the fact that she has a stepmom. But did you ever encounter any negative or maybe positive feelings towards external factors from the biological mother?
I think everything at first was negative. I cannot say that today because we are on good terms, but at first it was. But then again, I also understand she doesn't know me. Who am I? And most probably she was thinking, I'm going to get back to this man. I don't know. I'm just assuming. And then there's me that's taking over everything. You see? So I think somewhere, somehow, yeah, there were external forces.
Did you have any support from your partner? Because yes, when you tell him your daughter's doing this and that, it's like, no man, let her be. But at first, did you have the support and then it broke away, or there's never any kind of support to discipline a child?
No, I don't think there's support to discipline anybody's child. I'm sorry to say, but that is never there. I think I was just lucky with my stepdaughter that she became okay. She became a different person and we started getting along. But as far as the dad was concerned, no. That was a no-go area because I remember at some point she was sitting in front of the car and I have to sit in front. So I'm standing out and I'm like, and no. And the dad is like, no, sit at the back. I'm like, no, never.
No.
So I was like, never. And then obviously the child went to the back. Later on that night, it was World War III. I tell you.
What?
So there was no support from him.
So unpack. What was the World War 30? What was the discussion between you and him?
No, it wasn't. I could see that the issue was me saying the child must sit at the back. But he didn't say that. It was, something that just came up and now this person is so angry. But you know that this stems from that moment.
So how many, is that like one of many incidences? Can you also describe maybe another scenario that had made you feel like I really need to adjust myself emotionally, otherwise I'm going to explode?
Okay, can I explain one? There came a time where the child needed to change schools. And obviously we were all looking for schools, the mother, me, the dad. So we were all looking. And at some point he said to me, I don't know why you care. Because she's not going to go where you are going, where you want. And I was like, okay, I thought she's our child.
Wow.
And that's where I also started getting the reality of you are included but not included.
And I would get why, because akere, you're like an outsider. You're just a stepmom. And usually the decision lies with the biological parents, the mom and the dad. So already it's like your 2 cents worth.
Yeah, but it's going to affect
matter.
me because financially we are in this together.
And you're taking care of the family, of the child
yes.
as well. You're the one who's teaching the morals, the values, the principles.
Exactly.
Maybe having to run through crisis as a woman to a child, helping her navigate through life. And then, didn't your world shatter when you heard that? Or it was like, no man, let me just chill. It's not that deep.
I think at some point I got used to it. Hence why I'm saying the support was not there from the dad, but at least from the child it was there.
So the dad, I mean, the child is doing the most.
She was. I don't want to lie. She has been my blessing, actually, in that marriage. I think she's the one that kept that marriage going.
Did you ever feel like you were doing too much? Because, yes, clearly the father...
I think we do too much.
Yeah.
Just to be accepted, we do too much. We overextend ourselves and we kind of like don't have boundaries. Because now you want to be accepted, you want to be loved. You don't want people looking at you and saying, oh, she's an evil stepmother. Oh, she doesn't like the child. Because remember, everything that you do, it comes out negative. Whether you like it or not, whether you do it in the most positive energy or not, it comes out negative.
You could literally die for the stepchild and you'll still find faults.
I used to pray. I used to pray to God because I used to take her to activities. We used to travel a lot. And I'd pray that God, if anything were to happen, can I also go with this child? Because I'm going to be blamed.
Are you serious?
Yes. You can see how the situation is. So I was like, if anything, accident, anything, can I be the one that leaves? Save this poor soul. Because I was never going to hear the end of it.
That is so profound and very, very heartbreaking.
So, but we live in those situations. We get used to them.
Okay, so at first she's being difficult, right? How long was that? Were you experienced a
No,
difficultness
it
from
was
her?
dipping in and out. It wasn't literally lasting forever. At some point, we had like this thing of 2 weeks, 2 weeks. You go to your mother for 2 weeks, you come to us for 2 weeks. Obviously, every 2 weeks, second week that she comes, first day, second day, difficult. Sulking, she doesn't want to do, she doesn't. Third day, she's happy she's a child again. You know? But I think also the same thing happened to the mother, because the mother did also complain, because, whenever she comes here, she's moody and with her and the dad, the problem is change is not something that's welcomed with both of them. So I think also the fact that she had to change from one environment to another family, it wasn't sitting well with her. So the moods were just dipping in and out. It wasn't something that was constant, no.
I was going to say, sorry, you can go ahead.
No, you can.
I was going to say, it's very ironic that when she comes back from the mother's place, she's moody. But then you just elaborated further that no, it's just something that she's not accustomed to in terms of having to deal with the changes.
Also like that.
Did you ever speak to the biological mother?
Yeah, we did.
What did you guys say to each other?
We spoke about a lot of things, but basically was for the child. And at some point she had to deal with me because, okay, fine. The reason why she had to deal with me, her and the father they were exchanging words which were not comfortable for me and the child. So I thought it was best if I stepped in and did the negotiation on his behalf, which was a bad idea, but oh well.
How do you even step in? Do you thought about it? You know what? Or you spoke to your partner. Let me call the mother. And weren't you thinking she's gonna reject you? Because you know how biological mothers are when it comes to the partners, the new ex-partners.
No, I think at the time I did the contact name. Remember the child was a bit moody and now this child was changing. This child is always happy. And as she was becoming happy, she was becoming a radio. She was just the whole time. From a child that was quiet, that did not greet, to a child that goes like, good morning, throughout the day. I think she also saw the changes. And then that's how we kind of like started having that relationship, because she saw the change. Even at school, they also, complimented us in terms of, we can see this child is now happy and So it was a bit easier then. So I spoke to my partner and said, because now you guys are rubbing each other in the wrong way, can I step in? And he was like, no problem. Call her and talk to her. So I did take a phone call and said, hey, girl, may we speak? This is my issue. And then I would like us to work away like this. And she was like, oh, I hear you. But, I can pretend. But, oh, yeah, I hear you.
At least she didn't swear
at you. She's not like that.
Or hang up.
No, she's not like that. I don't want to lie.
That would be the immediate response or reaction.
No,
like, who are you?
She can even give you a hug. No, she's not like that. Not at all.
I feel like the problem here was the father more than anything, more than the whole setup.
So much think that was the issue.
So now you in this family, how long do you start realizing, Hori, 1 and 2? Actually, you are the problem here. My partner is the problem.
I think I started realizing a long time ago, because even the child also pointed out that, what did she say the one time? She said to me, oh, Mama Tepi, is Daddy scared of me? And I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, no, Daddy doesn't want to tell me anything or make me do anything.
That's
so I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I see this, but obviously you needed somebody to just show you in a better angle. And then as me and the mother were speaking, we were okay. Suddenly this person is now stepping in. He's now talking back to the mother, and then I'm left outside. And for me, I was like, but I don't understand. Why did you do that? He said to me, no, I saw you were struggling. But I never said that. So I felt, you know what, we did so much and we were so far. And then he just went back to undo everything. Because now, how do I go back and say, oh, girl, now talk to me? Like, it's like we don't have like a united front. So I just left it like that. Then I excused myself. We had a group. So I exited the group. I was like, I don't think I'm needed here. So I excused myself.
I wanted to ask eventually, like, because now I feel like that's the most convenient setup for everyone, where they have a WhatsApp group.
No, we did. We did.
If you want, if the parents, the biological parents want something, it has to go through the WhatsApp group. And how the group was calm, you know, no drama.
No, there was no drama
at all.
No. Because even the one time she had a birthday celebration for the child, and we went there to celebrate with them and the child, and we took pictures. And at times the child would go somewhere, like their school one day went to Dubai, and we all went to the airport and we all said goodbye to her. So it was quite healthy. It was just bits and pieces, but it wasn't that hectic, no.
So I know that the child was very welcoming, right? Compared to the father. At any moment, do you have this thought like, you're not my blood, you know? Because I feel like most people end up having such conversations with themselves or somebody else, like, yeah, not my blood, not my child. Why am I doing this? Why am I supposed to do this?
No, I think you do. At some point, you do get to that point. I don't want to lie. You do get to a point where you're like, why do I have to bother myself? Why do I have to do this? Is it even worth it? She's going to grow up. She's going to forget about you. And also you hear people saying, I've been in this situation. She grew up. There's a cousin of mine that actually sat down with me and said, oh, I was raising my husband's kids, and then they grew up, they changed. This one is also going to change. Remember also my relationship with the child is tight. Even now, we're still tight. And then you hear people talking negatively. And then there's your thoughts that are negative. And then you see this man that's in front of you. And yeah, no, you do talk to yourself. You do sometimes remind yourself that this is not my child. As much as I'm doing, it might be for nothing. It might be worth it. I don't know. Only God knows. But I think with her, she made things easier for me. When I had those doubts and she would say comforting words. She once said to me, Mama Tshepo, I think you should have a child. And I'm like, why? It's like, no, you'll make a great mother.
Isn't that special?
You understand? And then maybe sometimes we are left alone. We are doing things in the house like, oh, I'm sure you're so glad I'm here. And I'm like, why? It's like, where's Daddy? He forgets about us. But I'm here for you. Like, type of thing. She would remind me that she's there, she's not going anywhere, and that she loves me. And at some point, that drew me closer to her. Because I knew every 31st, she's the first person to call me and say, Happy New Year. The one time she came, it was Mother's Day, and she drew me and the dad, and then she's like, I know you're not going to get any present from anybody, but can I give you this? So I think with every doubt that I had, she made it easy for me to say, you know what, I'm not going to entertain this. She's one person that's going to be there for me.
She's so mature.
Yeah, she's so loving, Shem.
Because now, Pella, you're not jollering with her. You're in love with the father.
No, I felt like I was jollering with her more than anybody.
That's what I am gathering here,
Because at some point she's like, I'm your friend. But I know I'm not your friend to tell, to talk about other things, but I'm your friend. And I was like, yeah, you are my friend. And what I loved about her, I think at some point in the marriage, I said to her, you know what, when you wake up in the morning, you don't have to stay in your room. You can come to us and then, hop into the bed and speak to us. So now I know how much she loved that. She would wake up so happy, come into the blankets, oh, Mama, and then she starts talking. I thought we were going to sleep from 6 o'clock. And I'm like, hey, girl, let's rather make food because, this is too much.
No. let's talk about the father, because now, before he was like, he doesn't know why you here because she's not going to go to the school you choose.
Mm-hmm.
What ended up happening between you two regarding this child? What decisions were you allowed to make?
I think that was also my other issue, where when money was spent, he never had a problem. But when decisions have to be made, then that's a problem. So it was like, oh, you guys are using me for, like, I felt like a nanny at some point. Because all I had to do was just, look after the child, and then that's it. No interference, no advices, no nothing from there. But because I'm also very, very assertive, I inserted myself.
Yeah, from the get-go,
Whether
you
you
were like
it or not, I would say I'm going to say this, whether you like it or not. If you take it, take it. If you don't, then I'll just pass. Because also I felt some of the things, obviously I used to speak to the child a lot. So some of the things were coming from her, how she felt. Because she would go through me and tell me, this is how I feel, this is how I feel. This is, like the one time she was doing swimming and she didn't like swimming. So obviously she's going to tell me, I don't like swimming. Why am I doing swimming? So I have to tell the dad, and the dad is like, no, she has to do it. But I'm like, she doesn't like it. Think about it. She doesn't like it. No, she needs to know how to swim. What if she dies? She's not going to die.
ow. From everything you've said so far, it feels like you were more of a biological parents to the child than the father himself.
Yeah, no, I was. That I can safely say. Proudly say that.
What does respect look like? From what did you expect in terms of, you need to respect me and my role and what I'm doing here? Or was there any even? Because okay, first of all, the relationship is good, and then now you start to realize, actually, I'm swimming with the sharks.
There was. Let me not just say all the negative stuff. No, there was respect at some point. I think, like, people, we have emotions.
Okay.
Yeah. Seldom we are happy. Other times we are mad. Other times we blame other people. We don't know what he was going through. So I won't sit here and say, no, he was very... At times he would come home and we'd do everything as a family. We'd travel as a family. And it was nice. We had, like, good moments.
Did you have children of your own coming into the relationship?
No, I've never had kids.
Wow.
No, I don't have any child.
That is so refreshing, because like blended families is when two people come together and they have children from a previous relationship. And I feel like with you, it was difficult because of the father not supporting you in the way that he should.
Yeah, no, it was.
How? Wow, that is so cool. No, it was. That is so cool. But then it's not cool that he didn't do what he was supposed to do.
But I'm thinking also it's a good thing. His character, I don't think he was going to be able to adjust to me having a child. I don't think it was going to work.
He would have rejected them, or it would have been the case of, why? What do I stand to? The general question that I'm seeing on social media, and hey, we've had this discussion with Mr. Director. What do I benefit from becoming?
No, I don't think it's that about him. I think with him, he's just, I don't know if we call it selfish, or he looks out for himself better than anybody else. So he's just into himself. It's not even about anybody, no.
What did he do anything that made you feel like, this is it, I'm not doing this with you? And it wasn't more about the child, it was more about him and the things he's doing, like betrayal, hurting you, abuse.
No, he did do a lot. I think we both did do a lot to each other. I'm not going to sit here and say and blame him. Yes, he did do a lot, but I also did my fair share of things, because obviously when you get to a point where the love is not there, the disrespect comes in. So I became very disrespectful. I'm not loud, but I was becoming... I even thought maybe I'm going crazy, because I was even becoming so loud. The one time I drank alcohol, You know, when you're drunk, your true nature comes out. I didn't even see who was sitting next to us. I said a whole lot of hurtful stuff. So I think all the hurt and anger was just building in until I exploded. And the explosions, they came. They came like fire. They came every weekend. If I'm drinking, it comes back. And that's what I've also realized. After him, I can drink. There's no explosion. There's nothing. So I guess at that point, I was not okay. Emotionally, mentally, I was not okay.
Why were you not okay? Because someone can say you had a great relationship with a child because it's supposed to be a nightmare.
No, with the child, it wasn't. Funny enough, the nightmare was with the father, not the child. And when we broke up, the child said to me, please never go back to my dad.
What?
I think she lived through what I lived through. Because I also told him, I'm like, the funny thing is you guys don't realize that the child was also living with me most of the time. So she saw everything that went through. Because she even said to me, he was so happy going to his friends and he's angry when he's in the house.
That's quite a revelation.
You understand? So, yeah, he was his own kind of person. And yeah, we drove each other mad. It got to a point where it wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy at all. We were going to kill each other, I'm thinking.
And this was coming from the point of, you don't love me. I don't feel loved by you. I don't feel supported by you in anything.
Yo, he would show you that he doesn't really want you. I think he's also that person that wants to hurt you, but you have to get hurt. So if you don't get hurt, if you don't show that you are hurt, he does it more. Why am I saying so? He would, the one time we were passing each other passage in the house, and he just went like, stepping to the wall. And I'm like, dude, you'll fall. And I paused. And as a person, you're going to start thinking, do I stink? Why is this person doing this to me? Why isn't, you're going to start asking yourself a lot of questions.
He's so dramatic.
Very.
I'm sorry to say this.
Very.
And
but I guess we brought out the worst in each other. But honest.
Let me just say this. If he treated you well, because remember, as women, we are incubators.
No, you reflect.
Yeah, you're a mirror of what you have planted.
No, I'm not disputing the fact that he has planted. Yeah, I can't even say it, but yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So I think I stayed because of the child. I stayed because of the love that I saw from the child.
Weren't you scared if I leave? Because initially when you came into the picture, you had a lot of concerns. One of them being she's surrounded by males. Mm-hmm. So now you come to a realization, I want to leave. I can't be here anymore. Weren't you scared for the child?
I was. I think for the longest time, I had to have a conversation with myself. And one of the things were, this child, like you say, she's so matured, but I don't think the maturity comes with her. I just think the situation that she was put in made her matured. So I've always had this thing of, we're going to hurt this child again. She went through this. Now she's going to go through the same thing. And she was starting to find herself. And we used to talk a lot about school, and at school she wasn't doing well. Not academically, but with friends. Because the one friend called 𝗿𝗏𝗺𝗿𝗏 and the other friend, So now I'm thinking, okay, if school is not going well in terms of friends, and I'm that friend, and I'm also not going well, then where does this leave this child? Because I remember telling my psychologist that I fear for her. She's grown, but she wasn't matured enough to handle so many things.
Did you ever think of having the conversation with the biological mom, like, why can't you stay with your child?
No, she was. Remember, we were taking turns.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
And then at some point, she took her permanently because they moved.
Oh, so she took her...
No, I think she did it for the dad. She's one person that says, your child, spend time with your child, have a bond. It wasn't even about her not staying with the child because she was staying closer to us. So if she wanted to come see the child, she would come.
What would you have done differently? Maybe if let's say, give me top 3 or maybe one that would have made
in
a
my marriage,
huge difference.
No, I would have done nothing. I think I would have done everything the same way.
From his end, if maybe he was more communicative or maybe more loving or more kind, would you have stayed?
Yeah, now you're talking. Yeah, more kind. I'm sure I would have done a lot. I would have stayed in my marriage. I would have made it work. Because I don't believe anybody gets married to divorce.
No, absolutely not.
I would have done everything in my power to make us okay. But at the end of the day, if there's no heart, then why am I staying there?
True. Now you saying, I'm out of here. And you have the conversation with him. What does he say to you?
No, he's the one that said, I'm out of here. And I was like, oh, thank God. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Clearly. But you saw the signs.
Yeah, no, they were there. We were heading to that. I think between me and him, it was who's going to leave first. So now we're living in this house for like almost 6 months.
Strangers.
We are talking to each other, but it's, are you going to go? Am I going to go? Are you going to go? Because I remember having that conversation where we were having an argument going to work and he says to me, okay, fine, let's end it now. And I'm like, okay, let's end it. And then, instead of going to work, we went to Pretoria straight to the magistrate court just to file for divorce, both of us. We went there. And when we got there, I'm not scared of people. I'm having my back. When can we divorce? And now he's shy. He doesn't like people knowing. So now he's just behind me. He's not even saying anything. It's like, I'm like, come. And then they go upstairs. And then we go upstairs. And then we go to the clock there. And I'm like, hey, girl, we want to get a divorce. She's looking at us. And I'm like, both of us. We are okay. We've spoken about it.
You saying this, you saying it so nonchalantly, like, yeah, whatever.
No,
like,
I was pissed because how do you even say that? We were going to work and you just turned. Plus, he's more like me. He's one person when you say, don't do this, he's going to do that. He's going to show you.
Somewhere in your heart, didn't you want to, no man, we can try and save it? Because most of the time, women, because they've invested some time into the relationship, they're like, give it a shot one more time.
He's stubborn. I was as stubborn as him. So I was like, no, let's do it. I get what you wanted. Let's go. And I think with him, when we got there, he's the one that started being like, oh, but we don't have to do it today. We can get a lawyer for this. I'm like, no, we are here already.
Yes,
and then
girl.
they told us about the pro bono lawyers that we can talk to and they can draft it. And I'm like, it's even cheap. Come, let's go. It's like, no, let's not do this. Let's talk about it. Wara. But obviously, in my heart, I also wanted to talk about it. I'm like, okay, let's go. But I didn't want to show. It's a matter of who's going to crack first.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be that one.
These little games, though. Wow.
No, they became too much.
Okay, sharp. And then did you guys get the divorce on that day? Or because he's like, no,
we didn't get it on that day. After that day, we started loving each other from scratch. And now we know.
Love bombing.
Obviously. We know that we are capable of doing this. So he started being like, oh, baby, dinner, lunch, going out. Plus, we have the same personality. He likes going out. He likes being in the streets. I love being in the streets. So we'd just go to coffee, have cocktail, go home, started doing those things. But it was still coming.
How long did it last?
I think a month. Why am I saying so?
Yeah.
He went home and then he planned everything from home. And,
planned the divorce from home.
Yes.
When you say he went home like where?
Home, Limpopo.
Wow.
It was December. We did that in November. November, we went to the courts. We came back. We never signed. And then there was a friend of his that was getting married in December in Limpopo. And obviously, I'm not being asked if I'm going with, or nothing is being planned with me. I can see, okay, they're leaving me behind this time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I called that friend of mine, the wife. Hey, 𝗺𝘁𝘀𝗵𝗲𝗽𝗺𝗿, just know that I'm not going to come. I can see how this situation is going. So they haven't said anything about your wedding. So clearly, it's his home. I can't go to his home if he doesn't want me there. So I'll buy you a present, but I don't think I'll make it to the wedding. The wedding was on the 22nd of December. I was like, oh, okay, sharp. Me, meanwhile, go on the internet. I find, those traveling agencies. November, find it. And then there was a trip going to Zimbabwe. So I was like, oh, okay. Because I know this person is going to leave me behind to hurt me. Let me counter that and go so that it doesn't hurt me. Remember, he's going to leave me behind. How am I going to feel? Because we are used to going to his house together every December. So if he's not planning with me to go to the wedding, clearly it means he's going to leave me behind.
Wait, girl, hold up. So you're being counterproductive, seeking to travel to Zimbabwe, right? Because you know he's going to leave you. How did you have that surety, Ori? I know he's going to leave me.
Because there was a wedding on the 22nd and he's not saying anything about it and he's leaving on the 15th.
But he's coming back home, isn't it?
No, he's leaving on the 15th. He's coming back on the 1st or 2nd of Jan before we open.
So you going to travel, is this like a permanent decision where I'm out? Or it's like, Linda, I'm just going to go for a holiday and I'll come back when he comes back home?
Yeah, I just went like I'm going to go for a holiday because I'm not going to be home. One, we used to stay in a standalone home. So I can't stay alone. Anything can happen. Yeah. So, and he knew that. Obviously, he knew that I'm not going to be comfortable being there the whole of December. There's less people. It's a bit quiet. Crime happens a lot in December.
So he plans this trip. Eventually he goes, and then he plans at the same time. It's a wedding, and then it becomes a divorce for him. How did you get the call? What did he say? Did he come back?
I didn't. Yo, funny enough, can I tell you the story?
Please do.
Shabu. He went, I went. We came back, Jen. We are happy together. We are telling each other these stories. Hey, I had fun. Hey, I also had fun, Jen. Feb dates me. Go to a Valentine's thingy. By that time, things are brewing. He knows. And he's not saying anything. I'm chilled. But I tell my friend, I'm like, you know what? When this person is this nice, there's something coming. My friend is like, you're overthinking. Hey, what? Hey, you are negative. And I'm like, March, Bon, are we going on dates? This person never complains about money now. And I'm like, April sends me a WhatsApp. Oh, and then he says, oh, can I talk to you? We were fine. Can I talk to you? Can you talk to me? What do you mean? And then he sends me like, I can see the summons. And with WhatsApp, imagine. And I'm like, okay. And then I go there. And then it's like, yeah, I didn't want the sheriff to deliver these at work. But when you've got my home address, why are they even delivering these at work? So I was like, oh, okay. Then I left. And then that hurt him. Then I just said, okay. I never said, oh, explain. I just said, oh, okay. Thank you.
I'll go
on Monday.
Power in that, eh?
No, I was having a trip. I was going to a friend of mine. The child was having graduation, something. So for me, I felt, why tell me today? It was on Friday. He knew I was leaving on Friday, coming back on Saturday. Why not wait for me to come back? I'm going to be on the road. 1, it means you don't care if I die. 2, I'm still going to come back home. Why not tell me when I'm home? So I was like, no, I'm not. Like, imagine me coming to your daughter's something and I'm not okay. Are you going to think that it's because of my issues? No, you're going to think, I don't like you. I don't like your child. I'm not happy about your child. So I had to pack it and say, you know what? Wena, Ndaba, I'll see you tomorrow, not today. So I went like, okay. And then I left.
You lived your best life.
I left. I dressed up. I went to the graduation. But obviously the alcohol was coming down with hurt, but I couldn't show.
Is that your coping mechanism?
No, it was the fact that I couldn't talk to anybody at that moment. And I just heard these things and I don't even know where to from there. I don't even know how to deal with this. I've never done it. So I was like, okay, but I'm not going to think about it. Alcohol, obviously, alcohol can suppress. As much as we say it suppresses.
It suppresses and exposes at the same time.
Yeah, no, it does. It has done that.
I wouldn't know. I don't drink. Sorry.
Okay, it
I've
has
seen
done that
characters.
a lot of times. So, yeah, I mean, on Saturday, the child was leaving, going to Dubai. It was the same Saturday the child was going to Dubai. So the child asked me to come and see her off. So now on Saturday morning, I call and I say, I don't see the point of coming to see the child off because obviously you and me are no longer together. And then he's like, yeah, but I think it's unfair because we've planned this a long time ago.
What?
Wara. The child is not going to have a nice trip because I know how she is, but also I know how she is. So I was like, okay, fine, let me do it for the child. I was at a friend's place in Sandton. So I asked him to come pick me up. He did. I'm in the car. Hello. We are dancing. Like we didn't get...
Here's something else.
You had to be okay. You had to pick yourself up. So we are dancing. We go into the airport. We get to the airport. Everybody's there. You have to pretend that you're okay. Hey guys, hi. Obviously the ex is also there. And we're just having a conversation. We're just so happy the child is leaving and all of that. And then afterwards, he says to me, okay, let's grab something there at the airport.
What do you mean, grab something?
Like
we are not together. What do you mean? I get it, but...
I went. I wasn't hurt that. I went. Same, we ate. Never spoke about anything. Came back home. Dololo, no speaking. Sunday. We talk, but we don't talk about that. We talk about anything else except that.
Why? Aren't you anxious to... Actually, what are we doing here? What are you doing? What are we doing? Because we haven't been speaking. Things have been very sour. You just got me with a divorce. What are we doing?
No, the only thing that was running in my mind was, when did you start this? And from Jen, I sensed that there's something wrong. And I'm like, this is so evil. Why did you The time I got the divorce paper, we went out on Thursday. We did a ladies' night in Pretoria, And then he gives me the papers the next day. Then what was the point?
I'm sorry for laughing, but it is...
No, it's funny now. Because
it's funny now, yeah, but in the moment...
And for me, it was like, okay, we went out, we came back, we did this. And then why did we do this? It was like, literally, why did we... If you were leaving. And I think that is the only thing that got me angry. That you knew and you pretended. You knew for 3 months, for 3 whole months, you knew. You could have killed me, Mus. And then I got his lawyer's phone number because I knew I didn't trust him. So when he told me, he's like, no, they drafted the papers 2 weeks ago. I asked a friend of mine. She was like, nope. There's no way. It takes 3 months. And then I'm like, give me your lawyer's numbers. He gave it to me. I called the lawyer. I'm like, when did this person come to you? And he's like, in December. I'm like, And then that's where everything started clicking. Oh, when he went home, he was planning this. Okay. Then I think instead of me being hurt, I was okay. For the fact that I knew he planned it, I was like, no, it's fine. If you want to go, go.
I think I thought you were ready to let go.
Yeah, both of us. We were actually waiting for the one person to actually go and file.
And thank God he did.
And he did.
And God is also showing you, something is going to happen because you had...
No, you do see, Shem. You do. The signs are there. They say you knew. Yeah, I knew.
Are you happy now that you've left?
I am. I'm even gaining weight. I'm so fat, girl. Yo.
And you look gorgeous. You're shining. Look at you. Giving auntie rich vibes here.
God gave me a second chance to live.
And did he give you a second chance to love? Is there someone in the picture at the moment?
Heish. Okay. Heish. I'm not saying.
Okay. I love
But
that
all
for
is
you.
good though. I'm happy.
Mm.
I think I've never been this happy. Hence why I'm saying after him, the drinking stopped. Okay, I still drink. Oh, people will find me at a club and say, "Oh, you said you don't drink anymore." I still drink, but it's not as it used to be. I'm not, drowning my sorrows. I'm not consoling myself. Oh, when you're not okay, ne? Sure, I was very toxic to people around me. I was very toxic. That's where I saw good. This was not it. I had this friend of mine. She came to my house, and I was like, "Get the fuck out of my house." And I've never fought with that girl. Luckily, people understood. So I still have them in my life. They understood that I was going through a lot. I was very toxic to everybody. I once went to a wedding and they started having those speeches. There's no such. I'm drinking. I'm like, And then I was the youngest. So you can see this woman, these big women are looking at me like, I'm like, oh, they're lying to you. One like, you must sleep again, you're going to get sick. Because by then I was hurting. So and I didn't care who said what.
When did you decide, Hori, okay, now I need to get some therapy, some counseling, I need to let go before I destroy the relationships that I have
I was fighting
with the
with
people
a
around
lot
me?
of people. I had, I went from being a person that was loved by so many people, having zero enemies, to a person that had, I'm sure, 20. At work, I started not speaking to. I used to fight a lot. I'm very vocal. So, not physically fight, no. Yeah, I was vocal about how I felt and I wasn't compromising. I think that came to say, you know what, you've compromised a lot. This is where it ends. If somebody's going to say this to me and I don't like it, I'm going to tell them. And I'm not going to back down. So I started being that aggressive towards everybody. So I was now this person that did not see an old person, a young person. I was just this person where you say something and I don't like it, I would just tell you, when do you think this is your world? No, leave. But what? Yeah, so I started being aggressive, and I think I didn't like that new me. It was not nice. It was not nice being with me for more than 30 minutes because anything can happen. In that 30 minutes, I can just swear at you.
Sure. What would you warn someone? Say, "Hey, look out for this when it comes to step parenting a child or step parenting a spouse."
If it's not yours, stay away. I think people that are having such proper, healthy relationships are people that are not involved in the child's life. The woman is there. She knows that the child exists, but she's not involved. The man is doing everything for the child. They're talking to the child. You just don't know what's going on because that's where you hurt yourself. Remember, you now want to insert your 2 cents, and your 2 cents could be offensive to another person.
Right.
But if you don't know anything, then you won't insert anything. You won't say anything. Nothing will bother you. What you don't know will never hurt you. Imagine now you're sitting there and somebody's like, yeah, I'm going to buy my child this and I'm going to buy it. And you're sitting there, how are you going to feel? It's like, oh, you're not even inclusive of me. See? So better. They manage their own affairs. They've had that affair before you. They must just manage that. Then you continue.
Would you get into another relationship with someone
that has kids?
Yes.
I'm 40. I don't think there's so many people that don't have kids. So that is bound to happen.
40 and gorgeous.
Thank you.
Wow. Here, there's this question that we always hear. What did you gain from being a step parent? From high, like now you have an overview of everything.
No, I gained a lot. Like I'm saying, I don't have a child. So I got that experience of having a child. Even though the child was not my own child, but she was close to me. She was close enough to be my child. And I think at some point I was this person that thought, I'm just going to live my life, going up and down, traveling the world, not settling down. So I've always had that phobia of living the same life over and over. I remember the one time as I was growing up, I had a dream of going to work, coming back, going to work, coming, and it was a nightmare. So having a family for me was a nightmare because it meant I'm going to live the same life over and over again. So I think that taught me that I actually love the family setup. And if I have a chance of getting married again, I would. I'm not going to sit here and say marriage is bad. Marriage is not bad. It's just the person that we get married to that is bad.
True. Preach.
So if I get a chance of trying this life thing again, I would.
Give us your billion worth of advice, right? The camera is yours. We want to hear from heart to heart. What would you recommend? What would you not recommend? What have you learned to guide someone who's experiencing the same thing you are going, what you went through, but they are going through it in that moment?
Yeah, I feel everybody has their own experience. You can sit here and say, don't do this, do that. Life has no formula. I guess the only time you'll know is when you are there. I didn't know at some point that I could parent a child, but I did. And I did a very good job of it.
Well done.
I did.
Well done.
And also, mothers, seldom we become so selfish. And I think we also drive the stepkids to be evil. Because remember, you're the parent, you're the big person in that relationship. If you don't calm down and if you don't talk to this person, then there's nothing that's going to come out of it. Because both of us have pride, young or old. And if you push, I'm going to push also, So sit down with the person, understand where they're coming from. Because sometimes people have traumas. They are the way they are because they have traumas. Or they're the way they are because they felt I was not loved. We have, psychologically, I believe our past does have an influence on us, whether we like it or not.
It's true.
So seldom get to know what's going on. Because I believe with Wawa, I had to do that.
True.
In order for me to get to, the side where she loves me unconditionally, I had to sit down and say, okay, what is your pain? Why don't you grieve? Why do you feel this way? And she started opening up. And the more she opened up, the more you could see this happy child. But imagine if we left it. She was going to be this child that just gets up and not say hello to anybody.
Sure. Matshepo, we run out of time. And I appreciate
shame.
I told you it was going to go by fast, didn't I?
Yeah, I know it did. Just when I got so comfortable, at first I was like...
But thank you. You did great. And thank you so much for coming to share your experience. I wish you lots of love and in loveness and
I do have
everything
I'm
in
so
between.
open. My heart is so open. God loves me, guys.
And there we have it. Step parenting a child is not about biology. It's about showing up consistently, even if you don't want to show up. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, Jesus loves you.